Hello there, and welcome to another journey into nature's wonders. Tonight, we'll be exploring the serene and mesmerizing world of waterfalls, places where water flows, tumbles, and cascades in endless rhythms, where mist hangs in the air like whispered secrets, and the sound of rushing water becomes a lullaby that has soothed travelers for millennia. Above us, below us, and around us, water follows paths carved over countless ages. Some falls are gentle trickles down moss-covered stones. Others are thunderous torrents that shake the very ground beneath them. Waterfalls are both simple and profound, water obeying gravity's patient pull, yet creating spectacles that leave us breathless. They are places we visit to find peace, to reconnect with something ancient and timeless. If you enjoy these quiet explorations, I invite you to like and subscribe, or share a simple thought down in the comments. It helps others find their way here too, one sleepy soul at a time. But for now, all you need to do is rest, settle in, and allow the gentle sound of falling water to carry you into tranquility. Let's begin. Every waterfall begins with a single drop of water starting its journey downward. When you stand before a waterfall, watching millions of gallons cascade over the edge, it's easy to forget that it all begins simply. A single raindrop falls from the sky, landing on mountainsides or forest floors. It joins with others, forming tiny streams that merge into brooks, then rivers. Each drop follows gravity's call, seeking the lowest point, flowing inexorably downward. Along the way, it meets obstacles, stones, cliffs, ledges where the land suddenly drops away. And there, at those precipices, waterfalls are born. The journey of each drop is ancient and new, all at once. Some water in today's waterfall fell as rain only yesterday. Other drops have cycled through clouds, oceans, and ice for thousands of years. Together, they pour over the edge in an endless procession, each one contributing to the greater whole. To watch a waterfall is to witness countless individual journeys merging into one magnificent display. Every cascade tells the story of water finding its way home to the sea. The sound of falling water has calmed human minds for thousands of years. There is something deeply soothing about the sound of a waterfall. It is constant yet ever-changing, a white noise that masks the sharp edges of other sounds. Our ancestors sought out waterfalls as places of rest, knowing instinctively that the rhythmic rush of water brought peace to troubled minds. Scientists today understand why. The sound of falling water produces a frequency that helps our brains shift into relaxed states, similar to the effects of meditation. The steady roar drowns out the mental chatter that often keeps us awake at night. When you listen to a waterfall, whether in person or through recorded sound, your mind has permission to let go. The waterfall asks nothing of you. It simply flows, falls, and fills the air with its ancient song. Indigenous peoples around the world have long recognized waterfalls as sacred places, sites of healing and renewal. They understood that to sit beside falling water is to be reminded of nature's endless rhythms, patterns that existed long before human worry and will continue long after. Waterfalls form where rivers encounter sudden changes in elevation. The earth beneath our feet is rarely flat. Rivers carve paths through valleys, following the terrain's natural contours. Most of the time, their descent is gradual, a gentle slope worn smooth over ages. But sometimes, the river meets a cliff, a sudden drop where softer rock has eroded away, faster than harder stone above. There, the water can no longer flow smoothly. It must fall. These geological interruptions create waterfalls, Some form where ancient volcanic rock creates resistant ledges. Others appear where glaciers once carved steep valleys, leaving hanging tributaries that now plunge into the main channel below. The harder the rock, the longer a waterfall can maintain its height. But even the strongest stone yields eventually to water's patient persistence. Every waterfall is both permanent and temporary, lasting centuries or millennia, yet slowly reshaping itself with each passing season. The process that creates waterfalls also ensures they migrate slowly upstream. As water crashes onto the rocks below, it erodes the twell, base of the waterfall, creating a plunge pool. Over time, this erosion undercuts the harder rock above, causing pieces to break away and tumble down. With each collapse, the waterfall's edge moves a little farther upstream. This means that every waterfall is slowly traveling backward along its river course, leaving a gorge in its wake. Some of the world's most dramatic gorges were carved by waterfalls, moving upstream over thousands of years. Niagara Falls, for instance, has migrated several miles from where it began forming after the last ice age. In another 20,000 years, it will have moved significantly farther still, perhaps eventually disappearing altogether as it erodes back to Lake Erie's outlet. Every waterfall is on a journey of its own, reshaping the landscape as it goes. The tallest waterfall in the world drops nearly a kilometre straight down. In the remote highlands of Venezuela, hidden within the Tepuy Mountains, lies Angel Falls, the world's tallest uninterrupted waterfall. Its water plunges 979 meters, more than half a mile, from the edge of Aoyan Tepuy Mountain. For much of that fall, the water doesn't even touch rock. It simply drops through the air, atomizing into mist before it reaches the bottom. On windy days, the entire cascade can be blown sideways, the water never reaching the base at all, evaporating into clouds that drift away. Angel Falls was known to indigenous Pemon people for centuries before the outside world learned of. They called it Karapakupai Meru, meaning waterfall of the deepest place. The waterfall was brought to international attention in 1933 by American aviator Jimmy Angel, who flew over it and later attempted to land on the summit, though his plane became stuck in the process. Today, the falls bear his name, though many prefer to use the original indigenous term, honoring those who knew its wonder long before. To stand at the base of Angel Falls is to feel the spray from nearly a kilometre above, to watch water transform from liquid to mist during its long descent. It is a reminder that some places on Earth still feel primordial, untouched, as though they exist outside of time itself. Waterfalls create their own microclimates, cool and humid zones distinct from surrounding areas. Walk toward any significant waterfall and you'll notice the change. The air grows cooler, laden with moisture. Plants thrive in this environment, growing lusher and greener than their counterparts just a short distance away. Mosses carpet every surface. Ferns unfurl in thick profusion, and delicate flowers bloom in the constant mist. The waterfall creates a sanctuary, a pocket of abundance, sustained by the water's endless cycle. This microclimate extends beyond just the immediate spray zone. The cooling effect of evaporation, combined with the shade created by the gorge walls and dense vegetation, keeps temperatures lower than the surrounding landscape. In tropical regions, this can mean a welcome respite from the heat. In temperate zones, it creates conditions where cold-loving plants can survive far south of their usual range. Animals, too, are drawn to these oases, finding drinking water, shelter, and food in the waterfall's generous embrace. For humans, stepping into a waterfall's microclimate is like entering another world. The temperature drop can be felt immediately. the humidity refreshing on the skin. The sound envelops you, creating a sense of enclosure despite being outdoors. Time seems to slow. The constant renewal of air and water makes the space feel perpetually fresh, cleansed by nature's own hand. To rest in this space is to rest in a place specially shaped by falling water, a gift from stone and stream. The mist from waterfalls can sometimes create rainbows that dance in the spray. When sunlight strikes the mist at just the right angle, magic happens. The tiny water droplets act as prisms, splitting white light into its component colors. Suddenly, arcs of brilliant color appear in the air, hovering in the spray like ethereal bridges. These waterfall rainbows are often more vivid than their skyborne cousins, closer and more accessible, sometimes close enough to walk through. On bright days, multiple rainbows can appear simultaneously, primary and secondary arcs stacked one above the other. The colors shimmer and shift as you move, changing position with your perspective. Indigenous cultures around the world have seen these rainbows as sacred signs, bridges between worlds, messages from the divine. Hawaiian tradition speaks of waterfalls as places where the physical and spiritual realms touch, with rainbows marking these sacred thresholds. To witness a rainbow in waterfall mist is to see light and water collaborate, creating beauty from simple physics. The rainbow isn't really there as a solid thing. It's an optical phenomenon, a trick of light that exists only because you are standing in exactly the right place at exactly the right time. It is temporary, personal, and unrepeatable. Each observer sees a slightly different rainbow, positioned uniquely for their eyes alone. In this way, every waterfall rainbow is a private gift from nature to whoever happens to be watching. Some waterfalls flow year-round, fed by eternal springs and glaciers. Not all waterfalls depend on rainfall to maintain their flow. Some are fed by springs that bubble up from deep underground, tapping into aquifers that store water from seasons or even centuries past. These springs flow constantly, unaffected by drought or deluge, providing a steady stream that becomes a perpetual waterfall. Other falls are fed by glaciers, those vast rivers of ice that release water slowly throughout the warm months, ensuring flow even when no rain has fallen for weeks. These perennial waterfalls are reliable friends to the landscape. Animals know they can always find water here. Plants establish themselves with confidence, knowing the moisture won't disappear seasonally. Humans too have built settlements near such dependable falls, recognizing their value as permanent water sources. In arid regions, a perennial waterfall is precious beyond measure, a green sanctuary in an otherwise harsh environment. 2. Visit the same waterfall across seasons and find it unchanged is comforting. While so much in life shifts and transforms, these falls remain constant, flowing today as they flowed 100 years ago, as they will flow 100 years hence. They are anchors in time, steady presences that connect past, present, and future in an unbroken stream. Others appear only after heavy rains, ephemeral cascades that vanish within days. In contrast, some of the world's most spectacular waterfalls are temporary phenomena. They appear only after substantial rainfall, when rivers swell and water finds new paths down cliff faces that stand dry most of the year. These ephemeral falls can be dramatic, particularly in arid regions, where rare storms send floods racing down usually barren rock faces. Suddenly, dozens of waterfalls appear where none existed, transforming the landscape for hours or days, before vanishing again. Australia's interior, normally parched and red, can burst into temporary waterfall displays after rare flooding rains. Uluru itself, the great monolith at Australia's heart, develops cascades that stream down its flanks during heavy weather, a sight so rare that it draws pilgrims who may never see it again. In California's Yosemite Valley, ephemeral falls appear on the valley walls during spring snowmelt, white ribbons against granite that disappear by summer's heat. These temporary falls remind us of water's transformative power. The same cliff face that looks unchangeable in drought becomes a gallery of falling water after storms. The land reveals hidden faces, showing us that what seems permanent is actually flexible, responsive, alive. To witness an ephemeral waterfall is to be present for something fleeting, knowing it won't last, making the experience all the more precious. Frozen waterfalls become sculptures of ice in winter's grip. When winter's cold descends on waterfall country, a magical transformation occurs. The water that flowed freely in warmer months begins to freeze, slowing its tumble over the edge. Ice forms at the face, margins first, where spray hits rock and freezes into icicles. These grow longer each day, reaching toward the ground like crystalline fingers. The main flow slows, turning sluggish, then ceases altogether as temperatures plummet. What was movement becomes stillness, water locked in mid-cascade. The result is sculpture on a grand scale. Frozen waterfalls create towers of blue-white ice, columns and curtains that gleam in winter sunlight. Some are massive, weighing thousands of tons, solid enough to be climbed by adventurous ice climbers who ascend where water once fell. Others are delicate, thin sheets of ice that catch light like stained glass. The shapes are endlessly varied, each freeze creating unique patterns dictated by temperature, wind, and water flow at the moment of freezing. In places like Norway, Iceland, and Canada's Rocky Mountains, frozen waterfalls become winter attractions. People journey specifically to see these ice formations, to witness water's transformation into temporary art. When spring returns and temperatures rise, the sculpture begins to crumble, ice cracks, and falls away in chunks. The water behind it, freed from its frozen prison, begins to flow again. The cycle continues, as it has for millennia, freezing and thawing with the season's patient rhythm. The base of many waterfalls features deep plunge pools carved by the falling water. Where water strikes stone after its fall, energy must be dissipated. Over time, this constant bombardment excavates the bedrock, creating pools at the waterfall's base. These plunge pools can be surprisingly deep, sometimes far deeper than the water above or below the falls. The churning action of falling water, combined with rocks and sediment carried in the current, acts like a natural drill, boring ever deeper into the stone. Plunge pools are often remarkably circular, testament to the even distribution of the water's force. Their depths vary with the waterfall's height and volume. Some are shallow and accessible, perfect for swimming. Others are dangerously deep, with powerful currents below the surface that can trap the unwary. In tropical regions, plunge pools become natural swimming holes, cool refuges from the heat where people have gathered for generations. The ecology of plunge pools is unique. The constant churning oxygenates the water, making it ideal for certain fish species. The depth provides shelter from predators and temperature extremes. Aquatic plants grow around the margins where the current slows. At night, the pool becomes a watering hole where animals come to drink, knowing the fresh water is constantly renewed by the falls above. The plunge pool is both consequence and creator, carved by the waterfall, yet providing habitat in return. Waterfalls have inspired artists, poets, and musicians throughout human history. there is something about waterfalls that calls to human creativity. Perhaps it's their combination of power and beauty, or the way they embody change and permanence simultaneously. Whatever the reason, waterfalls have been subjects of art for as long as humans have created. Ancient Chinese artists painted waterfalls as symbols of persistence and the Tao's natural flow. Japanese woodblock prints feature cascades in every season, celebrated for their aesthetic and spiritual significance. Western artists too have been drawn to waterfalls. The Romantic painters of the 18th and 19th centuries depicted falls as embodiments of nature's sublime power, places where humans confronted forces greater than themselves. Photographers from the early days of the medium until now have sought out waterfalls, capturing their motion through long exposures that turn falling water into silk-smooth curtains, or fast shutters that freeze individual droplets in mid-air. Musicians have heard in waterfalls an endless source of inspiration. The sound suggests both chaos and order, rhythm and randomness. Composers have written pieces meant to evoke falling water, from Debussy's piano works to modern ambient recordings that layer waterfall sounds with subtle instrumentation. Poets have written countless verses about cascades, using them as metaphors for time, emotion, and life's flowing journey. In every art form, waterfalls appear as muses, their beauty and power translating into human expression across cultures and ages. The world's widest waterfall stretches for more than 4 miles across. While Angel Falls claims the title of tallest, Victoria Falls on the Zambia-Zimbabwe border is often called the largest waterfall in the world, based on its combined width and height. But for sheer width alone, that honor goes to Kone Pha Pheng Falls in Laos. This waterfall on the Mekong River stretches for an astounding 10.8 kilometers, more than 4 miles. During peak flow season, the river spreads across a series of rapids and cascades, creating a vast curtain of falling water that spans the entire width of the mighty Mekong. The scale is difficult to comprehend until you stand before it. The roar is deafening, the mist visible from miles away. During the rainy season, the volume of water pouring over Khon Pha Pheng is staggering, creating conditions so powerful that the falls have historically blocked navigation along this section of the Mekong. Local fishing communities have lived alongside these falls for generations, intimately familiar with their moods and cycles, knowing when the water runs low enough to expose rocks for fishing and when floods make the falls too dangerous to approach. To witness such expanse of falling water is to understand the scale of rivers themselves, the vast amounts of water constantly flowing from interior lands toward the sea. 4 miles of waterfall is 4 miles of the Earth's liquid lifeblood pouring over stone, a display of hydraulic force that humbles all who see it. It reminds us that despite all human engineering, nature's own waterworks remain supreme. Victoria Falls creates a mist cloud that can be seen from miles away. The indigenous name for Victoria Falls is Mosi Oatunya, the smoke that thunders, a perfectly apt description. When the Zambezi River is in full flood, particularly during March, April, the volume of water plunging over Victoria Falls is so immense that it creates a mist cloud, rising hundreds of feet into the air. This cloud is visible from more than 20 miles away, a towering pillar of spray that announces the fall's presence long before you can hear or see them. As you approach, the sound grows from a distant rumble to a thunderous roar. The mist turns into rain, drenching everything and everyone in the vicinity. The sheer volume of water, more than 1 million liters per second during peak flow, creates its own weather system. Rainbows arc through the spray, sometimes 2 or 3 simultaneously. The vegetation surrounding the falls is lush beyond measure, nourished by the constant moisture. This is the rainforest that exists because of the falls, a narrow strip of jungle thriving in what would otherwise be savanna. David Livingstone, the first European to see Victoria Falls in 1855, wrote that it was the most wonderful sight he had witnessed in Africa. The local people already knew its magnificence, having revered it for generations. Today, visitors come from around the world to experience Mosi Oatunya, to feel the thunder and stand within the smoke, to be humbled by the sheer force of so much water in motion. It is one of the natural wonders of the world, a place where the Earth's power is on full, glorious display. Some waterfalls pour directly into the ocean, where fresh water meets salt. Most waterfalls complete their journey within the land's embrace, falling into rivers or pools that eventually make their way to the sea. But some waterfalls take the ultimate plunge directly into the ocean. These coastal falls are rare and spectacular, places where rivers reach the sea via a dramatic vertical drop, where fresh water cascades directly into salt. The meeting creates a visible boundary, fresh and salt water mixing in the tumult of the plunge. One famous example is McQuay Falls in California, where a small creek tumbles 80 feet onto the beach at Julia Pfeiffer Burns State Park. The waterfall hits the sand just yards from the Pacific, its fresh water immediately absorbed into the ocean's vastness. In Scotland, the falls of Glomach and other highland cascades tumble into sea locks, creating scenes of dramatic beauty where mountain streams meet tidal waters. These ocean-bound falls are ecosystems unto themselves. The mixing of fresh and salt water creates brackish conditions that support unique species adapted to variable salinity. Marine life congregates near the freshwater's entry point, attracted by nutrients washed down from inland. Seabirds nest on the cliffs surrounding the falls, benefiting from the dual environment. For human observers, these falls represent the complete water cycle in miniature. Water falling from the land into the sea, where it will eventually evaporate, form clouds, fall as rain, and begin the journey again. Ancient waterfalls shaped the landscapes we see today. The waterfalls we visit today are young, geologically speaking, but ancient falls that no longer exist shaped much of the Earth's current topography. After the last ice age ended roughly 12,000 years ago, massive glacial lakes formed behind ice dams. When these dams broke, catastrophic floods were released, creating temporary waterfalls of unimaginable size that carved vast gorges in a matter of days or weeks. The channeled scablands of Washington state were formed this way, scoured by ancient waterfalls that were miles wide and hundreds of feet tall. Dry Falls, an ancient cataract in that region, once dwarfed Niagara Falls in size. The horseshoe-shaped cliff that remains is more than 3 miles wide and 400 feet high. When water flowed over it during the glacial floods, it must have been among the most spectacular waterfalls Earth has ever seen. Now it stands dry, a monument to water's power to reshape landscapes on continental scales. These ancient falls remind us that the Earth's features are not permanent. Mountains erode, valleys deepen, rivers change course. The peaceful landscape we see today has been violently shaped by ice, water, and time. Every valley was once deeper. Every gorge was once shallow. Waterfalls, both past and present, are among the most powerful tools of erosion, capable of transforming bedrock into the varied terrain that makes our world beautiful. To see a modern waterfall is to watch ancient processes still at work, still carving, still shaping, ensuring that the Earth's face continues to change. Waterfalls create negative ions that may improve mood and well-being. There is something scientifically measurable about the peace we feel near waterfalls beyond mere beauty. When water crashes onto rocks, it splits molecules and releases negative ions into the air. These electrically charged particles are abundant near waterfalls, particularly in the mist and spray zones. Research suggests that negative ions may increase serotonin levels in the brain, potentially improving mood, increasing energy, and relieving stress. This might explain why we feel so refreshed and energized after spending time near waterfalls. The effect is similar to that of ocean waves or thunderstorms, other natural phenomena that generate negative ions. The contrast with our modern indoor environments is stark. Buildings, offices, and homes tend to have higher concentrations of positive ions, particularly around electronic devices. This imbalance may contribute to feelings of fatigue and stress. A waterfall, then, offers a natural correction, flooding the air with the negative ions our bodies may crave. Whether the scientific explanation fully accounts for waterfalls' healing properties, or whether something more mysterious is at work, the result is the same. People have long sought out these places for restoration. We go to waterfalls when we need to clear our minds, to find perspective, to reconnect with something essential. The falling water offers its gift freely to all who come, asking nothing in return but presence and openness to its ancient peace. Many waterfalls are sacred sites to indigenous peoples worldwide. Long before modern tourists discovered them, waterfalls held deep spiritual significance for indigenous cultures. In Hawaii, waterfalls are believed to be the dwelling places of mo'o, powerful water spirits who guard the streams. Respect and proper protocol are required when approaching these sacred sites. In New Zealand, many waterfalls are tapu, sacred to the Maori, places where rituals were performed and where the physical and spiritual worlds meet. Australian Aboriginal peoples have dreamtime stories connected to specific waterfalls, narratives that explain creation and provide moral guidance. These falls are often part of songlines, the invisible pathways that crisscross the continent, linking sacred sites. To walk these paths and visit these waterfalls is to participate in a tradition tens of thousands of years old. Native American tribes across North America have similar relationships with waterfalls, viewing them as places of power where prayers are heard and visions received. These sacred connections are not mere superstition or primitive belief. They reflect a deep understanding of place, an acknowledgement that some locations carry special significance, that landscape itself can be holy. Waterfalls, with their beauty, power, and life-giving properties, naturally inspire reverence. To honor indigenous peoples' relationships with these sites is to recognize that respect for nature is not a modern environmental concept, but an ancient wisdom that deserves to be remembered and preserved. The sound of a waterfall varies with its shape, height, and volume. No two waterfalls sound exactly alike. A tall, thin cascade creates a different acoustic signature than a wide, thundering curtain of water. A waterfall that tumbles over multiple tiers produces a layered sound, each level adding its own voice to the chorus. Volume matters too. A gentle trickle over moss-covered stones whispers and murmurs. A flood stage cataract roars with a volume that makes conversation impossible. The shape of the gorge or amphitheater surrounding the fall affects its acoustics. Some waterfalls echo, the sound bouncing off walls and creating a reverberating thunder. Others are open to the air, their sound dispersing into the environment. The rocks themselves contribute. Hard, smooth stone reflects sound sharply. Porous, rough stone absorbs it, softening the overall effect. The presence of vegetation, the depth of the plunge, pool, even the air temperature and humidity all influence what you hear. For sound recordists and nature lovers, each waterfall is unique acoustically. Some seek out specific falls for their particularly beautiful sounds. Japanese gardens often include human-made waterfalls designed specifically for their auditory qualities, understanding that the sound of water is as important as its visual beauty. To listen carefully to a waterfall is to appreciate this complexity, to hear not just water but the interaction of liquid, stone, air, and space, creating a sound found nowhere else on Earth. Waterfalls can survive for thousands of years, or disappear in decades. The lifespan of a waterfall depends on many factors: the hardness of the rock, the volume of water, the climate, and human intervention. Some falls have existed for thousands of years, their resistant cap rock protecting them from rapid erosion. Others are geologically young, formed recently by earthquakes, landslides, or other sudden events. These may be dramatic but short-lived, eroding away within decades or centuries. Human activity can alter waterfalls' lifespans dramatically. Dam construction has eliminated countless falls by submerging them under reservoirs or by diverting the water that fed them. Agricultural and urban water use can reduce or eliminate flow, turning once permanent falls into seasonal trickles or dry cliffs. Climate change affects waterfalls fed by glaciers or snowmelt, potentially reducing their flows as ice reserves diminish. Some famous waterfalls have significantly less flow today than a century ago, yet new waterfalls continue to form. Earthquakes can create them overnight by shifting bedrock and creating new cliffs. Volcanic eruptions build new landscapes, where water soon carves fresh courses. Retreating glaciers expose new terrain that rivers quickly colonize, finding drops and ledges to cascade over. The Earth continues its endless work of creation and destruction. While individual waterfalls may come and go, the phenomenon itself is eternal. Wherever water flows downhill and finds a cliff, a waterfall will be born. Some waterfalls flow upward during strong winds, defying gravity briefly. Under normal conditions, water obeys gravity absolutely, falling down rather than up. But in certain waterfalls exposed to powerful winds, something extraordinary happens. The wind catches the falling water before it can complete its descent, lifting it and blowing it upward or sideways. The waterfall appears to flow in reverse, defying the fundamental law that creates it. This phenomenon occurs most famously at Waipuhia Falls in New Zealand, also called the Blowhole Falls. Strong winds funneling through the valley can be powerful enough to carry the water skyward, sometimes blowing it completely away from the cliff, so that no water reaches the bottom at all. Similar effects occur in Norway, Scotland, and other windswept locations where waterfalls face prevailing gales. The sight is surreal. Water climbing instead of falling, spray shooting upward like geysers. These reversed falls remind us that nature's rules, while consistent, can produce unexpected results when different forces interact. Gravity pulls the water down, but wind pushes it up. The outcome depends on the balance of forces in that moment. For visitors lucky enough to witness this rare phenomenon, it's a reminder of nature's playfulness, its ability to surprise us even in places we think we understand. The oldest known reference to a waterfall appears in ancient texts from over 3,000 years ago. Humans have been captivated by waterfalls since ancient times. One of the earliest written references appears in Chinese texts from the Shang dynasty, more than 3 millennia ago. These texts describe the Yellow River's waterfalls, already recognized as significant natural features worthy of recording. Ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics depict the Nile's cataracts, the series of rapids and small waterfalls that marked the river's journey through Nubia. Greek and Roman writers mentioned waterfalls in their descriptions of various regions. Pliny the Elder wrote about European cascades in his Natural History. Medieval Islamic scholars documented waterfalls in their geographic treatises. Throughout history, whenever literate cultures encountered waterfalls, they felt compelled to describe them, to capture in words what their eyes beheld. This ancient impulse to record and share knowledge of waterfalls speaks to their universal appeal. Even before written language, waterfalls likely figured in oral traditions. Cave paintings don't depict them, but that doesn't mean early humans didn't know and value them. Wherever people traveled, they would have encountered waterfalls and formed relationships with them. Some became landmarks, navigation aids, or gathering places. Others were avoided as dangerous or revered as sacred. The written records we have are merely the latest chapter in humanity's long relationship with falling water. Waterfalls have been sites of pilgrimage for centuries. In Japan, waterfall meditation is an ancient practice. Practitioners stand beneath falling water as a form of ascetic training, enduring the cold and force as a way to purify the body and focus the mind. This practice, called takigyo, continues today at sacred falls throughout the country. The experience is intense, the water pounding down with surprising force, the cold taking your breath away, demanding complete presence and concentration. In other cultures, pilgrims travel to waterfalls to make offerings, seek blessings, or fulfill vows. Havasupai Falls in the Grand Canyon has long been sacred to the Havasupai people, and visitors must seek permission to enter the tribal lands. Jog Falls in India attracts Hindu pilgrims who perform rituals in the monsoon-swollen waters. In Ethiopia, Blue Nile Falls is a site of both religious significance and national pride, celebrated for its beauty and power. These pilgrimages recognize what perhaps we all feel instinctively, that waterfalls are special places where the ordinary world feels temporarily suspended. Whether you approach with religious intent or simply seeking natural beauty, the effect is similar. The falls command attention. They draw you into their presence. Time spent at a waterfall is time apart from daily concerns, an opportunity to be still, to listen, to let the flowing water wash away accumulated stress and worry. Many cultures have legends of treasures or spirits hidden behind waterfalls. The space behind a waterfall, when one exists, has always fascinated human imagination. The curtain of water creates a liminal space, neither fully outside nor inside, dry, yet surrounded by wet. Many cultures have populated these spaces with legends. Irish folklore speaks of pots of gold hidden in caves behind waterfalls, guarded by magical creatures. African stories tell of spirits and ancestors dwelling in the mist-shrouded spaces where water meets rock. Norse mythology includes waterfalls as gateways to other realms, places where the boundaries between worlds grow thin. Native American traditions often describe waterfalls as doorways where the physical and spiritual meet, where shamans might pass through to receive visions. These legends aren't arbitrary. The space behind a waterfall does feel otherworldly. The sound is enveloping, the light filtered through moving water, the air thick with mist. It's a place apart, and humans have always sensed this quality. Some waterfalls do have caves or alcoves behind them where you can walk. The experience is unforgettable. Standing in that twilight zone, with water roaring past inches away, the world beyond, visible but unreachable. Whether or not you believe in hidden treasures or spirits, you can understand why people thought such things belonged there. If magic exists anywhere, it would be in such places. The highest plunge. Waterfall has water falling in a single drop for nearly a kilometre. Angel Falls holds many records, but perhaps most impressive is the height of its longest single drop, 807 meters, well over half a mile. This is the tallest single plunge in the world. The water leaves the edge of Oyan Tepui and falls through open air for more than 800 meters before striking anything solid. During that fall, much of it atomizes into mist, the water breaking into droplets so fine they're almost fog. For perspective, the Empire State Building to its tip is 443 meters tall. Angel Falls' main plunge is nearly twice that height. Imagine standing at the edge of a skyscraper and dropping water, watching it fall and fall and fall, taking nearly 20 seconds to reach the ground. That's what happens at Angel Falls. Except it's not a building, but a mountain. And the water falls continuously, every second of every day, in wet season at least, an endless stream plummeting into the valley below. Few people will ever see Angel Falls in person. It's remote, requiring a flight and then a river journey into the Venezuelan wilderness. But those who make the pilgrimage describe it as surreal, difficult for the mind to process. Water isn't supposed to fall that far, yet there it is, defying expectation, demonstrating what's possible when geography, geology, and hydrology align in exceptional ways. Yosemite Falls transforms with the seasons, from thunderous torrent to gentle stream. Few waterfalls demonstrate seasonal change as dramatically as Yosemite Falls. In spring, fed by snowmelt from the high country, it's one of the tallest and most powerful waterfalls in North America. The three-tiered cascade drops 2,425 feet total, with the upper fall plunging 1,430 feet. The roar can be heard throughout Yosemite Valley, and the spray creates its own weather system. The volume is staggering, thousands of gallons per second pouring over the edge. By late summer, the picture changes completely. The snowpack is exhausted, and if rainfall has been scarce, Yosemite Falls can slow to a trickle or cease flowing altogether. The cliffs remain dramatic as ever, but the water is gone. By October, it's common to find the falls completely dry, the rock face stained but silent. This cycle has repeated for thousands of years, and the ecosystem has adapted. Plants in the spray zone go dormant in the dry season. Animals shift their territories to where water still flows. When autumn rains or winter snows finally arrive, the falls slowly come back to life. First a trickle, then a stream, then finally in the spring, the full thundering glory returns. Yosemite's residents and regular visitors know this rhythm intimately. They cherish spring's abundance while accepting summer's scarcity. The waterfall's seasonal transformation is a reminder that nature operates in cycles, and that abundance and scarcity are both natural parts of the pattern. Underground waterfalls exist, in hidden caves, unseen by sunlight. Not all waterfalls tumble under open sky. Deep underground, in cave systems carved by ancient rivers, waterfalls flow in complete darkness. These subterranean cascades are among Earth's hidden wonders, heard but not seen unless you bring light with you. Some are small, a few feet high. Others are massive, plunging hundreds of feet into underground chambers vast enough to hold cathedrals. Ruby Falls in Tennessee is one famous example, a 145-foot underground waterfall deep inside Lookout Mountain. Visitors descend through tunnels to reach the chamber where the falls drops, dramatically lit by installed lighting that reveals the water's descent and the surrounding limestone formations. In New Zealand, the Waitomo Caves system includes underground waterfalls flowing through caverns adorned with glowworms, creating a scene that seems pulled from fantasy. These underground falls often flow year-round, fed by aquifers and groundwater that's buffered from surface conditions. The temperature remains constant, the flow steady. Cave organisms have adapted to these perpetually dark, wet environments, creating unique ecosystems found nowhere. To visit an underground waterfall is to enter a world apart, where the usual visual cues are absent, where sound echoes strangely, where the water's presence is felt as much as seen. It's a reminder that waterfalls exist in every environment where water flows and gravity pulls. Some waterfalls produce harmonic sounds that ancient peoples used for ceremonies. Certain waterfalls create acoustic conditions that produce distinct musical notes. Water falling at particular rates, hitting rocks at specific angles, can generate tones that resonate in the surrounding amphitheater. When multiple streams fall simultaneously, they can create harmonics, notes that blend together like a chord. Ancient peoples noticed these phenomena and incorporated them into spiritual practices. In parts of South America, indigenous groups identified waterfalls whose sounds produced altered states of consciousness. The combination of rhythmic water sounds, harmonic resonance, and negative ions may have contributed to trance states useful for shamanic journeys. Celtic peoples in Europe also recognized certain waterfalls as having special acoustic properties, considering them sacred sites, where the veil between worlds was thin. Modern researchers studying archaeoacoustics have confirmed that some ancient sacred sites were chosen partly for their acoustic properties. While most of this research focuses on built structures, the principles apply to natural features as well. A waterfall in a resonant chamber can create sound frequencies that affect human consciousness. Whether this is purely physical or carries deeper significance depends on your perspective. Either way, it demonstrates that our ancestors listened carefully to the world around them and understood that sound is more than simple noise. Niagara Falls has been a honeymoon destination since the early 1800s. Niagara Falls became synonymous with honeymoons largely by accident of history and marketing. After Napoleon's brother Jerome Bonaparte brought his bride to see the falls in 1804, it became fashionable among wealthy newlyweds. The combination of natural wonder, accessibility by rail, and the growth of the tourism industry cemented Niagara's reputation as a romantic destination. By the mid-1800s, the association was firmly established. Hotels catering specifically to honeymooners appeared. The powerful romantic imagery of the falls, combined with the privacy afforded by the mist and roar, made it an ideal place for new couples. The tradition has persisted through changing times, though Niagara now competes with many other destinations. Nevertheless, it remains iconic, a symbol of romance and new beginnings. The choice of a waterfall for honeymoon destination is apt beyond mere scenery. Waterfalls represent flow, movement, the joining of streams, the power of natural forces. For couples beginning married life together, these are fitting metaphors. The waterfall's constancy suggests endurance, while its constant renewal suggests hope. Standing together before such power and beauty, couples throughout history have marked their unions, linking their personal stories to the ancient, ongoing story of water flowing to the sea. Waterfalls can generate electricity, providing clean, renewable energy. The same gravitational force that makes waterfalls beautiful makes them useful. Falling water contains enormous energy, and humans have harnessed this power for millennia. Water wheels turned grain mills and powered early industry. Today, hydroelectric plants use controlled waterfalls, whether natural or created by dams, to generate electricity without burning fossil fuels. The principle is simple. Falling water turns turbines, which drive generators, which produce electricity. The higher the fall and the greater the volume of water, the more power can be generated. Some of the world's largest power stations harness waterfall energy. China's Three Gorges Dam, while controversial for its environmental and social impacts, generates more power than any other hydroelectric facility. Norway generates virtually all its electricity from hydropower, taking advantage of its mountainous terrain and abundant rainfall. Small-scale hydroelectric systems can provide power to remote communities without the need for massive dams. Micro-hydro installations use naturally occurring waterfalls or create small diversions, generating enough electricity for villages or individual buildings. These systems have minimal environmental impact compared to fossil fuels or even large dams. They demonstrate that waterfalls can be more than beautiful. They can sustain human life in practical ways, providing light, heat, and power while maintaining their essential nature. The sound of waterfalls can mask other noises, creating peaceful environments. One reason waterfalls feel so peaceful is their effectiveness at masking other sounds. The constant, broadband nature of falling water covers a wide range of frequencies. This acoustic blanket dampens distant traffic, human voices, animal calls, and other sounds that might otherwise intrude on tranquility. Near a waterfall, the world's acoustic clutter fades away, replaced by the singular voice of the water. This masking effect is why waterfall recordings are popular for sleep aids, meditation, and concentration. The sound provides consistent audio input that helps many people relax or focus. It's noise, but it's noise we perceive as natural and non-threatening. Unlike music, it has no structure demanding attention. Unlike silence, it provides sensory input that can prevent the mind from wandering or becoming distracted by intrusive thoughts. The effectiveness varies by individual, but many people find waterfall sounds profoundly soothing. In an increasingly noisy world, the ability to create an acoustic sanctuary is valuable. Whether you seek out actual waterfalls or rely on recordings, the benefit is similar. The sound creates a bubble of privacy, a space where external disturbances are neutralized, allowing rest, reflection, or work to proceed undisturbed. Waterfalls continuously shape and reshape the landscape around them. A waterfall is not a static feature, but an active force constantly working on its environment. The falling water erodes rock, carves gorges, moves sediment, and alters the course of rivers. Over decades and centuries, these changes can be dramatic. The waterfall itself may migrate upstream, change height, split into multiple channels, or even disappear if its water source is diverted. The spray zone around the falls is also dynamic. The constant moisture supports vegetation that dies back if the water's course changes. Animals that depend on the waterfall for habitat must adapt or relocate if conditions shift. Seasonal variations in flow cause yearly cycles of change. High water moves large rocks and alters the plunge pool's shape. Low water exposes surfaces that are underwater most of the year, allowing different erosive processes to work. This constant transformation means that no waterfall is ever exactly the same twice. The patterns of flow change with water volume. The rock faces weather and sometimes collapse. The surrounding landscape evolves in response. To return to a favorite waterfall years later is to find it changed, subtly or dramatically. This impermanence is part of the beauty. Waterfalls remind us that even stone is not eternal, that change is the only constant, and that the earth is always in motion, always reshaping itself according to the patient laws of physics. Some waterfalls have caves or chambers hidden behind the falling curtain. Walking behind a waterfall is an experience unlike any other. Not all falls allow this. The curtain must be set out far enough from the rock face to create a passage, and the force of the water mustn't be too powerful. But where conditions permit, the space behind a waterfall is magical. You're surrounded by water yet remain dry. The world beyond the curtain is visible but distorted, wavering through the moving veil. The sound is overwhelming, not painful but all-encompassing. You feel it in your chest, a physical presence that makes conversation impossible. The air is thick with mist, cool and fresh. Light filters through the water in shifting patterns. If the sun is positioned right, rainbows appear in the curtain, bands of color dancing in the spray. Standing there, you're in a space between, neither fully in nature nor separate from it, enclosed by water, yet able to observe. Some famous waterfalls, with walkways behind them, include Bridal Veil Falls in New Zealand's Raglan, Dry Falls State Park, when the falls are flowing, and several locations in Iceland, where accessible paths lead behind the curtain. Each offers that same fundamental experience, a liminal space where water defines the boundaries of your world, where the ordinary rules seem suspended, and where for a few moments you can stand inside the waterfall's embrace. Waterfalls create humid microclimates, where rare plants thrive. The constant mist and spray from waterfalls creates conditions that support plant species unable to survive in the surrounding, drier landscape. In temperate zones, this might mean alpine or boreal species persisting far south of their usual range, kept viable by the waterfall's cooling effect. In tropical regions, it creates pockets of especially lush vegetation, where orchids, bromeliads, and ferns flourish with unusual abundance. These microhabitat patches are important for biodiversity. Rare species find refuge here. The continuous moisture allows plants with high water requirements to thrive. The spray zone becomes a garden unlike anything nearby, a small paradise, sustained by the falls. Scientists have discovered species in waterfall environments that exist nowhere else. Plants that have adapted so specifically to these conditions that they cannot survive without them. For visitors, these gardens offer concentrated beauty. A waterfall surrounded by verdant growth, perhaps with flowers blooming in profusion, becomes a feast for the senses. The contrast with drier surroundings makes the effect more dramatic. You pass through ordinary forest, then suddenly enter a realm of emerald moss, dripping foliage, and botanical abundance. It's like discovering a secret garden, hidden in plain sight, sustained by the waterfall's generous gift of moisture. The largest waterfall ever known dwarfed anything existing today. The waterfalls we marvel at today are small compared to those that flowed in Earth's past. During the closing stages of the last ice age, immense glacial lakes formed, held back by ice dams. When these dams failed, the resulting floods were catastrophic. The volume of water released in some cases exceeded the flow of all the world's rivers combined, concentrated into a matter of days or weeks. These floodwaters carved temporary waterfalls of unimaginable size. Dry Falls in Washington state, the remnant of one such cataract, is more than 3 miles wide and 400 feet high. When water flowed over it during the glacial floods, it may have been the largest waterfall Earth has ever seen, with flow rates potentially reaching hundreds of millions of gallons per second. The sound must have been audible for 100 miles. The mist would have created permanent fog and rain for miles downwind. These megafloods reshaped entire regions in geologic instants. They scoured valleys, carved channels through solid basalt, moved boulders the size of houses like pebbles, and created landscapes that still puzzle observers today. While we're fortunate that such catastrophic events aren't occurring now, their legacy surrounds us. Many of the valleys, gorges, and unusual landforms we see today were shaped by ancient waterfalls, far larger than any currently flowing. Baby waterfalls form when temporary streams find new paths after rain. After heavy rainfall, water finds 1,000 new paths down hillsides and slopes. Temporary streams appear where none existed hours before, following any available groove or channel. When these streams encounter drops, even small ones, tiny waterfalls emerge. These ephemeral cascades might last only hours or days, disappearing once the rain stops and the ground absorbs the excess water. These baby falls are no less beautiful for being temporary. A 6-inch drop over moss-covered rocks can create a miniature paradise. The sound, though small, has the same soothing qualities as its larger cousins. Animals take advantage of these temporary water sources. Plants drink deeply while the opportunity lasts. Children delight in discovering these tiny cascades in the woods. Natural phenomena scaled to child-size wonder. For patient observers, the creation of these temporary falls demonstrates how all waterfalls begin. Water plus gravity plus a drop in elevation equals a cascade. The physics are the same whether the fall is inches or kilometers high. Each tiny temporary fall is practicing the same ancient dance as Angel Falls or Niagara, reminding us that nature's principles operate at every scale, that the grand and the small are governed by the same patient laws. Waterfall trails and paths allow millions to experience these wonders safely. Many of the world's great waterfalls are now accessible via maintained trails. These paths allow people of varying abilities to experience waterfalls without need for wilderness skills or dangerous scrambles. Boardwalks, viewing platforms, and paved paths bring the falls within reach of children, elderly visitors, and those with mobility challenges. This democratization of access means more people can experience the peace and beauty waterfalls offer. Some criticize this development, arguing that trails and infrastructure diminish wilderness character. There's truth to this concern. An easily accessible waterfall, surrounded by crowds, differs from a remote cascade reached after hours of hiking. Both experiences have value. The remote waterfall offers solitude and the satisfaction of effort. The accessible waterfall offers its benefits to far more people, including many who could never undertake a difficult journey. The best outcome is balance. Protect some waterfalls in wilderness condition, accessible only to those willing to work for the experience. Make others accessible to all, with thoughtfully designed facilities that minimize impact while maximizing safety and access. This approach ensures that waterfall experiences remain available across the spectrum, from challenging wilderness adventure to gentle, accessible wonder, letting each person find the encounter that matches their needs and abilities. Waterfalls inspire conservation efforts to protect watersheds and ecosystems. A waterfall's beauty makes it a powerful symbol for conservation. When people visit a waterfall and experience its wonder, they often become interested in protecting not just the falls, but the entire watershed that feeds it. This expanded awareness is valuable because waterfalls cannot be protected in isolation. They depend on their upstream environments remaining healthy and intact. Conservation organizations use waterfalls as flagship features to protect larger landscapes. Protecting the waterfall means protecting the forest that filters water, the river that carries it, the rainfall patterns that sustain it, and the wildlife that depends on it. The waterfall becomes an ambassador for an entire ecosystem, its charisma drawing support that extends to less visible but equally important components of the environment. This approach has succeeded in creating protected areas. Worldwide, national and state parks, often centered around waterfalls, to preserve millions of acres. The waterfall draws visitors, generating economic benefits that justify continued protection. Local communities that once might have exploited resources unsustainably find alternative income through tourism. The waterfall becomes not just a natural wonder, but an engine for sustainable development and environmental stewardship. The chemistry of waterfall spray differs from still water. Water in motion is chemically different from still water. The churning action at a waterfall's base increases dissolved oxygen to near saturation levels. This highly oxygenated water is beneficial for aquatic life and contributes to the fresh, clean smell we associate with waterfalls. The spray also collects particles from the air, acting as a natural air purifier that removes dust and some pollutants. The negative ions created by the falling water alter the water's properties as well. Some claim these changes make the water taste better or feel different on the skin, though scientific evidence for this is mixed. What's certain is that water, especially the spray and mist, interacts with air in ways that still water does not. This interaction creates unique conditions, both in the water and the surrounding air. For centuries, people have attributed healing properties to waterfall water. While modern medicine doesn't support claims of miraculous cures, there's no denying that waterfall environments are healthful. The clean, moist air, the negative ions, the minerals carried in the water, and perhaps most importantly, the peace and beauty that reduce stress all contribute to well-being. Whether the water itself has special properties, or whether the entire experience creates the benefit, the outcome is the same. People feel better after spending time near waterfalls. Waterfalls influence the development of early industries and settlements. Before steam power and electricity, falling water was one of the few concentrated sources of energy available to humans. Communities built mills beside waterfalls to grind grain, saw wood, full cloth, and power other early industries. The waterfall's location often determined where towns developed. Access to waterfall power could mean the difference between subsistence and prosperity. In regions with many waterfalls, patterns of development reflect this history. Villages cluster near falls. Roads connect these sites. The Industrial Revolution's early stages depended heavily on water power. Textile mills in New England, for instance, were strategically located at falls on rivers like the Merrimack and Connecticut. Entire cities grew around these power sources. Even after steam and later electrical power made location less constraining, the original waterfall-based settlements remained and expanded. This history has left its mark on the landscape. Many old mill buildings still stand beside falls. Some converted to museums, apartments, or shops. The names persist too. Places like Mill Falls, Factory Brook, and Cascade Mills acknowledge the relationship between human development and falling water. Walking through these areas today, you can still see the infrastructure, channels, and sluices, and stone walls that directed water to power wheels. The waterfall's role has changed, but its influence on human geography remains visible. Photography of waterfalls often uses slow shutter speeds to create a silky effect. Photographers have long been fascinated by the challenge of capturing waterfalls. Early photographers discovered that different shutter speeds produced very different effects. Fast shutter speeds freeze the water's motion, capturing individual droplets and showing the chaos of falling water in sharp detail. This approach reveals textures and patterns often invisible to the naked eye. Slow shutter speeds create the opposite effect. The water's motion during the exposure blurs into smooth, silky flows. The result is ethereal, often more beautiful than accurate representation. This technique has become so popular that many people's mental image of waterfalls is actually this photographic interpretation rather than what they see with their own eyes. The slow shutter waterfall has become iconic. Neither approach is better or worse. They simply show different aspects of the same reality. Fast shutter reveals dynamics and energy. Slow shutter conveys motion and flow. Together, they demonstrate photography's power to shape our perception of nature. The waterfall itself remains constant, but our experience of it changes based on how we choose to observe and capture it. Each photograph is an interpretation, a way of seeing that adds to our understanding while never fully capturing the direct experience of standing before the falls. Some waterfalls are so remote that few humans have ever seen them. Despite satellites and global communication, some waterfalls remain virtually unknown, deep in rainforests, high in mountains, or tucked into gorges in rarely traveled regions. These falls flow unseen, except by local wildlife and occasional indigenous peoples. They have no names known to the outside world, no trails leading to them, no photos documenting their existence. These hidden waterfalls remind us that Earth still holds secrets. The age of exploration hasn't ended, it's merely shifted focus. Most undiscovered waterfalls are likely small or seasonal, not grand cataracts that would show up on surveys, but size doesn't determine worth. A hidden 30-foot waterfall in an Amazonian tributary is no less beautiful for being unknown to the wider world. It serves its ecosystem, provides habitat, erodes its channel, and adds its small voice to the planet's symphony of flowing water. There's something comforting about knowing such places exist. In a world that often feels entirely known, mapped, and categorized, unmapped waterfalls are reminders that mystery persists. They'll continue flowing, whether humans ever catalog them or not, indifferent to human knowledge or approval, simply being what they are: water falling, stone eroding, life flourishing in the spray, all beyond our sight but part of the living world nonetheless. Waterfalls appear in mythology and folklore worldwide. Nearly every culture with waterfalls in its territory has stories about them. In Japanese mythology, waterfalls are home to dragon gods and spirits. Chinese legends tell of immortals dwelling behind cascades. Greek myths placed nymphs called naiads in waterfalls and springs. Norse tales spoke of waterfalls as pathways to the underworld or the realm of the gods. These stories often reflect the same themes: transformation, purification, passage between worlds, and the presence of spirits or deities. Waterfalls mark boundaries, places where one thing becomes another. The water transforms from river to mist. The landscape changes from high to low. The mundane world meets the sacred. It's natural that such places would accumulate stories, become sites where the normal rules don't quite apply. Modern cultures continue creating waterfall mythology. Tourist brochures romanticize falls with stories that may be more marketing than tradition. Local legends grow around waterfalls, some based on history, others pure invention. This ongoing myth-making demonstrates that waterfalls still capture imagination. We still feel that these are special places deserving of stories, that somehow waterfalls are more than just geological features, but rather are characters in the ongoing narrative of landscape and culture. The water in some waterfalls has traveled thousands of miles before falling. Every waterfall is the culmination of a journey. The water pouring over the edge might have fallen as rain or snow hundreds or thousands of miles away. It soaked into soil, joined groundwater, emerged in springs, flowed through countless streams and rivers, and finally arrived at this particular spot. The waterfall is a moment in a much longer story, a dramatic episode in water's perpetual cycle. Consider Iguazu Falls on the border of Argentina and Brazil. The water falling there began in the Brazilian highlands, traveled nearly 1,000 miles through the Iguazu River system, gathering water from tributaries draining vast areas. By the time it reaches the falls, this water carries the dissolved minerals, sediments, and molecules from an enormous watershed. The same is true for every major waterfall. They are collection points where the hydrology of entire regions comes together. This perspective changes how we see waterfalls. They're not isolated features but nodes in vast networks. Protecting a waterfall means protecting everything upstream. Pollution entering the watershed hundreds of miles away eventually arrives at the falls. Deforestation far upstream affects flow rates. The waterfall integrates signals from across its drainage basin, making it both beautiful showcase and early warning system for watershed health. Waterfalls have witnessed human history from ancient times to the present. The waterfall you visit today has been falling for thousands of years, longer than human civilization in most cases. It witnessed the passage of Ice Age hunters, the establishment of indigenous cultures, the arrival of explorers, the growth of nations. If falls could speak, what stories they could tell of the humans who paused beside them over millennia. Imagine the conversations held beside waterfalls across history. Ancient hunters discussing the day's hunt, lovers meeting in secret, shamans seeking visions, settlers deciding where to build, soldiers resting during campaigns. All these human moments played out with the waterfall as backdrop, its constancy. Contrasting with human brevity, the falls remain essentially unchanged, while everything human transforms. This continuity is part of waterfalls' appeal. In a world of constant change, they persist. The water is always different, yet the falls remain. This paradox offers comfort. While our individual lives are brief, we participate in something ongoing. The waterfall that soothed ancestors can soothe us, can soothe generations yet to come. In standing before a waterfall, we join all those who stood here before, sharing across time the simple experience of watching water fall and feeling peace. The mist from large waterfalls can be felt from hundreds of meters away. Approach a major waterfall and you'll feel it before you see it. The air grows progressively cooler and damper. Soon a fine mist becomes noticeable on your skin and hair. The mist carries away from the falls on the wind, sometimes traveling remarkable distances. Near Victoria Falls during peak flow, the mist can be substantial, a quarter mile or more away, creating rain-like conditions despite clear skies overhead. This mist creates rainbow conditions, not just at the falls, but downwind wherever sunlight can strike the water droplets. Multiple rainbows can appear at different distances as the mist disperses and thins. For photography, the mist presents both challenges and opportunities. It can obscure the falls themselves or spots camera lenses, but it also creates atmospheric effects, soft light, and the possibility of capturing rainbows. For visitors, the mist is refreshing, especially in hot weather. The cooling effect is welcome, and many people enjoy the sensation of the natural spray. However, it also means cameras, phones, and other electronics need protection. Clothing gets damp. The trade-off seems worth it to most people. The mist is part of the experience, tactile evidence of the water's power to transform not just itself, but the entire environment around it. Some waterfalls only appear during extreme weather events. In many arid and semi-arid regions, waterfalls are rare ephemeral events. Dry for years at a time, certain cliff faces only see water during extraordinary rainfall. When rare storms do arrive, The transformation is dramatic. Within hours, dozens of waterfalls appear where none existed, turning the landscape into a temporary wonderland of falling water. These events are unpredictable and brief, making them special for those lucky enough to witness them. Uluru in Australia is famous for this phenomenon. The massive sandstone monolith is usually dry, its surface marked by vertical grooves that are ancient stream channels. But during heavy rains, water sheets down these channels, creating hundreds of waterfalls all around Uluru's circumference. The site draws photographers and visitors who may have waited years for this rare occurrence. Within days, the water ceases, the stone dries, and the desert returns to its usual state. These ephemeral falls remind us that even deserts have hydrological cycles, that aridity is not absence of water, but merely its infrequent presence. The landscapes shaped by these rare flows show that even sporadic water is a powerful force. The channels, though dry most of the time, have been carved by water over countless rare events. The desert waterfalls, brief as they are, continue the slow work of erosion that has been ongoing for millions of years. The roar of large waterfalls can be heard from miles away in quiet conditions. Sound travels well over water and through valleys. A large waterfall's roar can be audible from surprising distances, particularly at night when other sounds diminish. Indigenous peoples used this acoustic property for navigation, following the sound toward waterfalls that marked important locations. Even today, hikers often hear a waterfall long before seeing it, using sound to guide their approach. The volume and pitch of the sound varies with the waterfall's characteristics and the observer's distance. Close up, the sound can be overwhelming, capable of causing hearing damage with prolonged exposure at the very largest falls. At moderate distances, it's powerful but not painful, a presence that commands attention. From afar, it becomes a low rumble, almost felt rather than heard, a bass note that carries through the landscape. The sound of distant waterfalls has its own poetry. It's tantalizingly faint, drawing you forward. As you approach, the sound builds gradually, creating anticipation. Finally, seeing the source, after following the sound, creates satisfaction that instant visual encounters might lack. The auditory approach to a waterfall is its own journey, one that engages different senses and creates different memories than sight alone provides. Waterfalls create natural jacuzzis and pools perfect for bathing. At the base of many waterfalls, particularly those of moderate size, the falling water creates turbulent conditions, ideal for a natural massage. The pounding water and swirling currents stimulate circulation and relax muscles. Cultures worldwide have recognized this therapeutic value, visiting waterfalls specifically to bathe in their invigorating waters. In Japan, waterfall bathing is part of traditional health practices. Not all waterfalls are safe for bathing. Strong currents, cold water, slippery rocks, and hidden hazards mean you must choose carefully and understand the risks. But safe falls can provide an experience unlike any built spa. The water is fresh and clean, cooled by its journey and oxygenated by the fall. The natural setting adds psychological benefits no indoor facility can match. Bathing beneath a waterfall connects you directly with nature's power in an intimate way. Many waterfalls have designated swimming areas where safety has been assessed. Local knowledge is invaluable here. Ask experienced visitors or rangers which falls are suitable for swimming. Respect posted warnings. When conditions are right and location is safe, swimming in a waterfall pool is unforgettable. The combination of cool water, natural beauty, soothing sound, and the gentle pummeling of the falls creates an experience both invigorating and relaxing. Certain waterfalls are illuminated at night with colorful lights. Some famous waterfalls receive artificial lighting that allows nighttime viewing and creates spectacular effects. Niagara Falls is perhaps the best-known example, illuminated nightly with powerful lights in changing colors. The result is dramatic, transforming the falls into a glowing spectacle visible for miles. Iguazu Falls and several others worldwide also receive lighting during tourist seasons. These installations are controversial. Purists argue that artificial lighting diminishes the natural experience, turning the waterfall into a theme park attraction. Proponents counter that lighting makes the falls accessible to evening visitors, and that the spectacle draws tourists whose spending supports conservation and local economies. Both perspectives have merit, and the debate reflects larger questions about how we balance nature preservation with public access and economic development. For visitors, lit waterfalls offer a different experience than daytime viewing. Colors shift across the water, creating otherworldly effects. The falls can look larger, more dramatic, or simply different than in daylight. For those who find nighttime lighting objectionable, most falls are also visible without it, or can be visited during the day. The option exists to choose your preferred experience, whether that's natural moonlit viewing or enhanced colorful illumination. Ancient waterfalls shaped the evolution of species that live near them. Long-term geographical features, like waterfalls, can act as barriers or corridors for species, influencing evolution over countless generations. Animals unable to cross a major waterfall may evolve differently on either side, accumulating genetic differences over time. Fish populations divided by falls can develop into separate species or subspecies. The waterfall becomes a boundary that shapes biodiversity. Conversely, waterfalls can create specialized habitat that drives evolutionary adaptation. Species develop features specifically suited to waterfall environments, like fish that can climb wet rocks to pass waterfalls, or birds that nest on spray-drenched cliffs, or plants whose seeds disperse in the peculiar air currents around falls. These adaptations are responses to opportunities and challenges the waterfall presents, evolution solutions, to the particular problems of living in falling waters environment. Studying these adaptations helps scientists understand evolution in action. Waterfalls of different ages show different stages of species divergence. Comparing organisms at falls with varying characteristics reveals how environmental factors shape natural selection. The waterfall becomes a natural laboratory, a controlled variable in the grand experiment of evolution. Each one has influenced the life around it, shaping species in subtle or dramatic ways over timescales almost too long to comprehend. The most powerful waterfall has a flow that could fill an Olympic swimming pool in 1 second. Victoria Falls, Iguazu Falls, and Niagara Falls compete for the title of most powerful based on various metrics. During peak flow, Victoria Falls on the Zambezi River between Zambia and Zimbabwe has flow rates exceeding 500,000 cubic meters per minute. That's more than 8,000 cubic meters per second, enough to fill an Olympic swimming pool every second. The sheer volume is difficult to comprehend until you witness it. At such flow rates, the water is not just falling, but launching into space, hurled forward by the river's momentum before gravity pulls it down. The roar is constant thunder. The mist rises so high, it creates its own cloud system. The vibration can be felt through the ground. Standing near Victoria Falls at full flood is overwhelming in the truest sense. Your senses are flooded with more input than they can easily process. This power is temporary. During dry season, the flow diminishes to perhaps a tenth of peak levels. The falls become a different creature, still impressive, but no longer overwhelming. This seasonal variation affects tourism, ecology, and even the local microclimate. The contrast reminds us that even the most powerful waterfalls are variable, subject to climate patterns, dependent on rainfall in distant highlands, forever changing while remaining essentially themselves. Waterfalls mark elevation changes that can indicate ancient geological events. To a geologist, a waterfall is a clue. Its presence indicates something about the bedrock, perhaps a layer of hard stone resisting erosion above softer layers, or a fault line where earth movement created a sudden elevation change, or the boundary where a lava flow met older rock. Each waterfall is a readable text if you know the language, telling stories of ancient volcanoes, ice ages, earthquakes, and the slow, patient work of erosion. By studying waterfalls' locations and characteristics, geologists piece together regional history. A line of waterfalls along a river might mark an ancient shoreline where sea level changes created a scarp. Multiple falls in a region might indicate a period of uplift that steepened all the drainages simultaneously. The absence of waterfalls in some areas where you'd expect them can be equally informative, suggesting uniform rock types or unique erosional histories. For the casual observer, understanding this geological context adds depth to the experience. That waterfall didn't appear randomly. It's there because of specific events in Earth's long history. Events that shaped not just this one falls, but the entire landscape. The waterfall is a monument to those events, a marker in stone and water that lets us read the ancient past if we know how to look. Some waterfalls produce so much mist they support lush gardens nearby. The spray zones of major waterfalls can support vegetation that has no business existing in that climate. Tropical species persist in temperate zones. Alpine plants survive at lowland elevations. The waterfall creates a bubble of humidity that allows these outliers to thrive. Botanical gardens sometimes establish themselves near waterfalls specifically to take advantage of these conditions, knowing the natural moisture will sustain plants that would die in the surrounding drier areas. These mist-fed gardens are beautiful and biodiverse. Walking through them feels like entering a different climate zone. The plants are lusher, greener, more varied than those just beyond the spray zone. Flowers that require constant moisture bloom here. Mosses grow in thick carpets. Ferns reach unusual sizes. The abundance is a direct gift from the waterfall, its mist acting as irrigation that never stops. For horticulturists and botanists, waterfall gardens are valuable. They demonstrate what's possible when moisture is unlimited. They preserve species that might otherwise disappear from a region. They provide living examples for study and enjoyment. For visitors, they add another layer to the waterfall experience. The falls feed not just rivers, but life itself, creating conditions where growth flourishes beyond normal bounds. Early explorers often named waterfalls after themselves or their sponsors. The history of waterfall names reflects colonial exploration patterns. European explorers, encountering waterfalls already well known to indigenous peoples, often renamed them for European figures. Victoria Falls, named by David Livingstone for Queen Victoria, was called Mosi Oatunya for millennia before. Angel Falls bears the name of an American aviator, not the indigenous term Kerepakupai Meru. This naming practice erased indigenous knowledge from maps and official records. It privileged explorers over those who lived with these falls for countless generations. Modern efforts increasingly acknowledge this history by using traditional names alongside or instead of colonial designations. It's a small step toward respect and recognition of the peoples who knew these places first and longest. Names matter because they shape how we think about places. A waterfall named for a person carries different associations than one named for its characteristics or spiritual significance. As we reassess historical injustices, waterfall names are part of that conversation. Whether maps change or not, learning and using traditional names is a way to honor the deep connections indigenous peoples maintain with their landscapes, connections that long predate European exploration and that continue into the present. Waterfalls can freeze solid, creating climbable columns of ice. In regions with severe winters, waterfalls transform into ice formations that mountaineers attempt to climb. Ice climbing on frozen waterfalls is a specialized sport, requiring specific skills and equipment. Climbers ascend using ice axes and crampons, securing protection by placing ice screws into the frozen water. The challenge is unique because the ice is dynamic, slowly flowing and changing even when frozen, unlike static rock faces. Famous ice climbing destinations include frozen waterfalls in the Canadian Rockies, Norwegian fjords, and alpine valleys. Multi-pitch ice climbs can rise hundreds of feet, offering sustained difficulty and spectacular positions. The translucent blue ice of frozen waterfalls is beautiful, particularly when sunlight illuminates it from within. For climbers, ascending a frozen waterfall is both aesthetic and athletic achievement. The sport carries significant risks. Ice conditions vary with temperature and can change during a climb. Warming trends make climbing dangerous as ice becomes unstable. Falling ice from above is a constant hazard. Nevertheless, for those drawn to it, ice climbing frozen waterfalls offers an intimate encounter with winter's power to transform water into climbable crystal, creating temporary sculptures that exist for one season before melting returns them to flowing water. The pH and mineral content of waterfall water varies with local geology. Water is a universal solvent, and as it travels through watersheds, it dissolves minerals from the rocks and soil it contacts. The resulting chemistry depends on local geology. Limestone regions produce water rich in calcium carbonate, often with higher pH. Granite regions yield slightly acidic water with different mineral profiles. Volcanic areas contribute various minerals depending on the lava's composition. This chemistry affects everything from taste to ecosystem health. Some waterfall waters are notably pure, having traveled through hard, unreactive rock. Others are mineral-rich, with distinctive tastes and colors. In extreme cases, waterfall water can be too mineralized or acidic for consumption. Though this is rare, more commonly, the mineral content is beneficial, providing essential elements to plants and animals. For visitors, tasting waterfall water is often tempting. In many locations, it's safe, particularly in remote areas with undisturbed watersheds. However, even clear water can harbor parasites, so caution is advised unless the source is known to be safe. The chemistry that seems abstract becomes tangible in taste, texture, and the way water feels on the skin. Each waterfall's water is unique, a liquid signature of the geology it traveled through. Children throughout history have delighted in playing near waterfalls. The appeal of waterfalls to children is universal. The sound, the splash, the mist, the dynamic energy all attract young minds. Throughout history and across cultures, children have played near waterfalls when conditions allowed. They splash in pools, let spray cool them, shout to hear their voices lost in the roar, explore rocks and plants in the spray zone, and experience pure sensory joy. This childhood connection often creates lifelong appreciation. Adults who played at waterfalls as children return to introduce their own children, passing on the experience. The waterfall becomes part of family history, a place where generations share memories. Stories get told: the time someone slipped, the day the water was especially high, the perfect summer afternoon spent in the mist. The waterfall becomes a character in family narrative. This intergenerational connection is valuable. It creates constituencies for conservation, people who care about protecting waterfalls because they're part of personal and family identity. It also provides continuity in rapidly changing times. The waterfall where great-grandparents played still flows. The experience of standing in the spray is the same across decades. This constancy gives children perspective on time, nature, and their place in ongoing stories larger than individual lives. Waterfalls have been featured in countless films, photos, and artworks. Few natural features are as photogenic as waterfalls. Their movement creates visual interest. Their power conveys emotion. Their beauty transcends culture. Film directors have used waterfalls as backdrops for romance, danger, discovery, and contemplation. Photographers return repeatedly, seeking perfect light and conditions. Painters and illustrators have rendered waterfalls in every style, from photorealistic to abstract. The visual appeal is understandable. Waterfalls have natural composition, vertical elements, horizontal flow lines, contrasting textures of rock and water, often surrounded by vegetation that frames the scene. Light interacts dramatically with mist and spray. The moving water creates challenges and opportunities for artists. Each medium handles the subject differently, but all recognize waterfalls' potent visual appeal. This artistic attention has shaped how we perceive waterfalls. Many people's first exposure to great falls comes through images rather than direct experience. The art sets expectations and creates desire to see the reality. In turn, the reality inspires new art, continuing a cycle that has enriched visual culture across millennia. Waterfalls are muses that never disappoint, subjects that reward artistic attention with endless variations on themes of motion, power, and beauty. The rainbow colors in waterfall mist follow the same sequence as sky rainbows. Whether in clouds, mist, or water spray, rainbows follow the same physics and produce the same color sequence. Red appears on the outer edge, followed by orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet on the inner edge. This consistency reflects the unchanging nature of light and water's optical properties. The phenomenon is always the same, only the circumstances vary. In waterfall mist, however, rainbows often appear more vivid and more accessible than in the sky. They're closer, allowing you to see detail and sometimes even position yourself to see the colors more clearly. Multiple rainbows are common. The primary arc, with its vivid colors, appears first. A fainter secondary rainbow sometimes appears outside it, with colors in reverse order. Very rarely, a third or fourth rainbow might be glimpsed. The ephemeral nature of these rainbows adds to their appeal. They appear and disappear as you move, as clouds pass, as spray shifts with the wind. Each rainbow is temporary, unique to the moment and the observer's position. This impermanence is beautiful in itself, a reminder that some experiences can't be captured or possessed, only witnessed and appreciated in the present, before they fade away, leaving only memory. Some waterfalls become dangerous during high flow periods. The same waterfall that invites swimming in summer can become deadly in spring flood. Flow increases transform falls from gentle to violent. Currents that were playful become inescapable. Rocks that were visible become hidden hazards. Margins that were accessible become spray-drenched, slippery, and dangerous. Many waterfall fatalities occur when people fail to respect these changed conditions. Warning signs at popular falls reflect this danger. They're not paranoid restrictions, but responses to actual incidents. Every danger or keep out sign probably represents someone who was injured or killed. Respecting these warnings is respecting both the waterfall's power and the hard lessons others learned. The falls are not malicious, but they are indifferent to human safety. They simply flow according to physics, and humans must adjust their behavior accordingly. Understanding seasonal changes allows safe enjoyment. Visit waterfalls at appropriate times. Learn about flow conditions before approaching. Watch for signs of recent high water, debris in trees, eroded banks, scoured vegetation. Give the falls respect. Maintain safe distances during high flow, and recognize that your safety is your own responsibility. The waterfall's beauty should be appreciated from positions that don't risk your life or require risky rescues that endanger others. Thermal waterfalls flow with naturally heated water from underground. Most waterfalls are cold, fed by snowmelt, rain, or cool groundwater. But in geologically active regions, waterfalls can flow with warm or hot water heated by Earth's internal heat. These thermal waterfalls are rare and special, combining falling water's beauty with the luxury of natural heat. The experience of bathing in warm water, tumbling over rocks, is unique and therapeutic. Examples include waterfalls in Yellowstone National Park, Iceland, and New Zealand's thermal regions. The hot springs that feed these falls create entire ecosystems adapted to unusual temperatures. Algae and bacteria that thrive in heat create colorful displays. Animals are drawn to the warm water in cold climates. Vegetation patterns reflect the thermal gradient, with heat-loving species near the source and cold-adapted species beyond the warming influence. For humans, thermal waterfalls offer year-round bathing opportunities. Even in winter, the water remains warm, creating steam that rises into cold air in magical displays. The contrast of hot water and cold air creates an experience both surreal and delightful. Thermal waterfalls remind us of Earth's ongoing geological activity, the heat beneath our feet that continues to shape landscapes and create exceptional places where fire and water meet. Ancient peoples often held councils and made decisions near waterfalls. The combination of natural beauty, fresh water, and the noise that masked conversation from outsiders made waterfalls attractive meeting places. Many indigenous groups chose falls as sites for councils, gatherings, and important discussions. The neutral territory of a natural feature, belonging to all and none, made it acceptable ground for even rival groups to meet. The acoustic properties helped too. The waterfall's roar ensured privacy. Conversations couldn't be overheard. The constant background noise also created a leveling effect. Everyone had to speak clearly and listen carefully, which encouraged more thoughtful communication. The beauty and power of the setting reminded participants of larger contexts beyond immediate disputes, potentially encouraging wisdom and compromise. Modern groups sometimes revive these traditions, holding retreats or important meetings at waterfalls. Whether or not they know the historical precedent, they to rediscover the same benefits. The setting encourages presence. The beauty inspires. The sound provides privacy and focus. The waterfall has always been a gathering place, and it remains one, offering both practical advantages and intangible qualities that support human connection and decision-making. The force of falling water at major waterfalls can literally shake the ground. Stand near a major waterfall during high flow, and you can feel vibration through the bedrock. The constant impact of millions of gallons of water striking stone creates seismic waves, tiny earthquakes that radiate outward. Sensitive instruments detect these vibrations miles away. For those standing at the base, the sensation is palpable, a reminder of the kinetic energy falling water contains. This ground-shaking force is the same energy that erodes rock and carves gorges. Every vibration represents impacts wearing away stone, grain by grain and boulder by boulder. Over time, these accumulated impacts move mountains, not figuratively but literally. The waterfall slowly excavates its channel, undermining cliffs, triggering rock falls, reshaping landscapes through persistent hydraulic force. For visitors, feeling the ground shake adds visceral impact to the experience. The waterfall isn't just beautiful, but powerful enough to move the very earth. This physical sensation creates memories that outlast visual images. You remember not just how the waterfall looked, but how it felt, the vibration entering through your feet, the undeniable proof of nature's ongoing work of shaping the planet. Some waterfalls display rare optical phenomena, like fogbows and glories. Under specific conditions, waterfall mist can create optical effects beyond simple rainbows. A fogbow appears in fog or mist when droplets are too small to create colorful rainbows. The result is a pale, nearly white arc with faint colors, ghostly and subtle. Waterfalls can produce fogbows in their densest mist, particularly during certain light conditions. A glory is an even rarer phenomenon, a circular rainbow surrounding your shadow when projected onto mist. To see one, you must be between the sun and the mist, with your shadow visible. The glory appears as colored rings around your shadow's head, a personal halo created by light scattering through tiny droplets. Mountain climbers sometimes see glories in clouds, and waterfall visitors occasionally witness them in mist. These uncommon phenomena add to the sense that waterfalls are special places where nature reveals secrets. Seeing a glory or fogbow is memorable precisely because it's rare and because it requires being in the right place, at the right time. It's a gift, an unexpected bonus to what was already a worthwhile visit. These moments remind us to pay attention, to look carefully, because nature's wonders include both the obvious and the subtle. The force of water in some waterfalls can strip bark from trees downstream. Major waterfalls during flood stage carry tremendous erosive power. Trees that grow along rivers below waterfalls sometimes show damage from debris carried in floods. Logs, rocks, and even ice can be hurled over falls with such force that they continue traveling downstream at dangerous speeds. These projectiles strip bark, break branches, and sometimes destroy trees entirely. Flood debris fields below waterfalls tell stories of past high water. Logs wedged high in trees indicate levels the water reached. Scoured banks show where nothing could withstand the force. Over time, only the most resilient plants survive in the immediate below falls zone. Those that do are adapted, flexible enough to bend, strong enough to resist, or able to recover quickly from damage. For ecosystem health, this violence serves purposes. Floods scour accumulations, preventing stagnation. They reshape channels, creating varied habitat. They deliver nutrients from upstream. The debris itself becomes habitat as it settles and decays. What looks destructive from a human perspective is part of natural cycles that maintain ecological diversity. The waterfall's periodic rages are not catastrophes, but necessary disturbances that keep river systems healthy. Waterfalls inspired early aviation pioneers who studied falling water's behavior. Engineers and inventors studying fluid dynamics often look to waterfalls as natural laboratories. The way water breaks up as it falls, transitions from laminar to turbulent flow, and creates vortices, provided insights into how fluids behave under various forces. Early aerodynamics drew heavily on fluid dynamics principles, and waterfalls offered observable examples at dramatic scales. Leonardo da Vinci sketched waterfalls extensively, analyzing flow patterns as part of his broader studies of mechanics and nature. His notebooks showed detailed observations of turbulence, splash patterns, and the way water behaves at different fall heights. While he never built functioning aircraft, his studies contributed to understanding of fluid behavior that later pioneers built upon. Modern engineers still study waterfalls when designing systems involving fluid flow. The principles are the same whether the fluid is water, air, or anything else. Waterfalls demonstrate complexities that theoretical calculations might miss. Observing actual water in actual falls reveals behaviors that can inspire solutions to engineering challenges. The waterfall, appreciated for beauty, also serves as teacher, showing anyone willing to look carefully how fluids behave under gravity's influence. The pools beneath waterfalls can be much deeper than the park surrounding river. Plunge pools often surprise first-time divers with their depth. While the river above and below the falls might be shallow enough to wade, the pool itself can be tens of feet deep, sometimes more than 100 in extreme cases. This depth results from continuous excavation by falling water. The force hollows out the bedrock over centuries or millennia, creating depressions far deeper than ordinary river processes would produce. These deep pools create unique habitat. The depth provides thermal stability, cooler in summer and warmer in winter than surrounding shallow water. Larger fish use the pools as refuges. The churning water oxygenates to saturation, supporting higher densities of aquatic life than might otherwise be possible. The depth also provides protection from predators and from drought, water remaining even when surrounding areas dry up. For swimmers and divers, depth requires caution. Currents can pull swimmers down, and surfacing can be difficult if you're caught in the wrong spot. Cold water at depth can be shocking after warm surface temperatures. Underwater hazards like rocks or logs aren't visible from above. Many accidents occur when people underestimate plunge pool depth or overestimate their swimming ability. As with all waterfall swimming, local knowledge and careful assessment are essential for safety. Certain fish species have evolved to climb waterfalls using specialized fins. Waterfalls present barriers to fish migration, blocking access to upstream habitat. But some species have evolved remarkable abilities to overcome these obstacles. Salmon are famous for leaping waterfalls, using powerful swimming and precise timing to reach upstream spawning grounds. Other species use different strategies, climbing wet rocks beside the falls, using modified fins or mouthparts, or waiting for high water when falls become passable. These adaptations are hard-won evolutionary solutions to specific challenges. Fish that can pass waterfalls access resources competitors cannot reach. Upstream areas above falls often have fewer predators and less competition, making the effort worthwhile. The ability requires specific anatomical features and behaviors, refinements that took thousands of generations to perfect. Each climbing fish is a testament to evolution's power to solve problems through natural selection. Watching fish negotiate waterfalls is inspiring. Their determination, strength, and precision are remarkable. Conservation of these species requires maintaining not just habitat, but also the ability to move through it. Dams and other barriers that block fish passage or alter natural flow regimes can devastate populations that depend on upstream access. Waterfalls themselves are natural challenges fish have adapted to, but human-created barriers often cannot be overcome. The air near waterfalls can be significantly cooler than surrounding temperatures. The evaporative cooling, the effect of waterfalls, is substantial. As mist evaporates, it draws heat from the air, lowering temperatures in the immediate area. Large waterfalls can create temperature differences of 10 degrees Fahrenheit or more between the spray zone and areas just a short distance away. This cooling provides welcome relief in hot climates and contributes to the unique microclimates waterfalls create. The effect is most noticeable on hot, dry days, when evaporation is fastest. Approaching a waterfall, you feel the temperature drop like entering a natural air-conditioned space. The humidity rises simultaneously, so the perceived cooling can be even greater than actual temperature change suggests. In tropical regions, this makes waterfalls particularly attractive destinations, natural refrigerators in otherwise sweltering landscapes. Animals exploit this cooling effect, congregating near falls during the heat of the day. Birds bathe in spray, mammals drink and rest in the cooler temperatures, and insects swarm in the comfortable conditions. For humans, the cooling is both physiological comfort and psychological relief. The association between waterfalls and refreshment is built on actual temperature differences, not just perception or aesthetic preference. Waterfalls mark places where rivers suddenly remember they're made of water. There's something almost miraculous about the moment water goes from horizontal flow to vertical fall. For miles, a river moves sedately through. For landscape, its surface calm or rippled, but always recognizably a river. Then it reaches the edge, and suddenly it's airborne, no longer supported, committed to the fall. For those few seconds or minutes of descent, the water is transformed, atomized into mist, or maintaining coherence as a plunging curtain, before returning to river form at the bottom. This transformation is beautiful to witness. The moment the water leaves the lip is visually striking, a boundary crossed, a point of no return. Physics governs what happens next, but the spectacle feels almost magical. Water becomes something else during its fall, neither fully liquid in the usual sense nor anything else we have a word for. It's water in transition, demonstrating that even the familiar contains surprises when circumstances change. At the base, the transformation reverses. The water crashes into the pool, bubbles, and froths, then gradually calms, resuming its identity as river. The cycle is complete. The waterfall is an interruption, a dramatic interlude in the water's long journey to the sea. Yet that interruption is what we remember, what draws us, what makes this particular stretch of river worthy of special names and pilgrimage. Some waterfalls have been continuously flowing for millions of years. While individual waterfalls migrate and change over time, some locations have hosted cascades for extraordinary spans. In geologically stable regions with resistant cap rock, waterfalls can persist for millions of years. The specific form changes, the height erodes, the width expands or contracts, but the essential feature remains, a place where water falls. To stand before such a waterfall is to encounter deep time. This water has been falling here longer than humans have existed as a species. It fell before the ice ages, before mammals dominated the earth, perhaps even before many mountain ranges rose. The permanence is humbling. Our lives are flickers, our civilization's brief episodes, but this waterfall has flowed on, indifferent to the grand and petty dramas played out in its vicinity. Yet even million-year-old waterfalls are temporary on geological timescales. Given enough time, erosion will eliminate them. The Earth's features are all provisional, lasting vastly longer than human timescales, but not eternal. This perspective is both sobering and liberating. Nothing lasts forever. Not mountains, not waterfalls, not us. All we have is the present moment, the waterfall as it is now, this opportunity to stand and listen and let the ancient water wash away our modern worries. The mist from waterfalls can water gardens hundreds of feet away. Gardeners and plants benefit from waterfall proximity even at considerable distances. Wind carries mist and raises local humidity, extending the influence beyond the immediate spray zone. In arid regions, this can mean the difference between survival and death for plants. Even in wetter climates, the supplemental moisture encourages lush growth. Clever gardeners, through history, have located gardens to benefit from waterfall mist. Some cultures engineered water systems to enhance the effect, directing spray to where it would do the most good. The result is gardens that thrive with minimal, additional irrigation, sustained by the waterfall's generous abundance. These gardens often become celebrated for their beauty, though credit belongs as much to the waterfall as to human cultivation. For wildlife, mist-watered areas provide food and shelter. Berry bushes produce prolifically. Young trees grow faster. Flowers bloom in profusion, supporting pollinators. The waterfall's influence radiates outward in expanding circles of benefit, each less intense than the last, but still meaningful. At several hundred feet, the effect may be subtle, but plants respond. The waterfall feeds not just the Styr river below, but the landscape around it. An ecosystem engineer whose influence shapes life across a wider area than its physical presence suggests. Poets have compared waterfalls to time, emotion, and the passage of life. Waterfall metaphors appear throughout literature. The constant flow suggests time's passage, unstoppable and relentless. The transition from river to fall to river again mirrors life's journey through changes and challenges. The noise drowning other sounds represents overwhelming emotion or experiences that consume attention. The destination-seeking quality of water flowing to the sea parallels life's trajectories toward inevitable ends. These metaphors resonate because waterfalls embody fundamental patterns. They are process made visible, change, movement, transformation, power, and ultimate dissipation. We see in them what we seek or what we need to understand. Different poets find different meanings, but all recognize that waterfalls speak to something essential about existence, something that can be pointed to, but never fully captured in words. The durability of these metaphors across cultures and centuries suggests they touch something universal. Humans everywhere recognize waterfalls as meaningful beyond their physical presence. They become symbols, carriers of significance that transcends their identity as geographical features. This symbolic power is part of what draws us to waterfalls, not just beauty or sound, but a sense that we're encountering something that speaks to deeper truths. After heavy rainfall, some mountains develop temporary waterfalls on every cliff face. In mountainous terrain during exceptional rain, every vertical surface becomes a potential waterfall. Water sheets off slopes, seeking any path downward, and, wherever it encounters a drop, a cascade appears. What were dry cliffs hours before become galleries of waterfalls, dozens or hundreds appearing simultaneously. The transformation is dramatic and usually brief, lasting only as long as the rain continues and the soil remains saturated. Witnessing such an event is memorable. The mountains come alive with moving water. The sound is everywhere, a chorus of falls large and small. The air fills with mist. Dry gullies become raging torrents. Places you walked through yesterday are impassable today, blocked by newborn streams. For those who live in the mountains, these transformation events are familiar. For visitors, they're revelatory, demonstrating how dramatically landscape can change in mere hours. As the rain stops and drainage slows, the waterfalls gradually disappear. The largest, fed by more substantial catchments, persist. Longest, the smallest vanish within minutes or hours. By the next day, most are gone, leaving only wet rock and perhaps some debris as evidence. The mountains return to their dry state, waiting patiently for the next storm to briefly transform them once again into lands of thousand waterfalls. Waterfalls featured prominently in the gardens of ancient civilizations. Cultures that developed sophisticated water management often incorporated waterfalls into their gardens and public spaces. Persian gardens, Japanese temple grounds, Moorish palaces in Spain, and Chinese imperial gardens all featured water cascades as essential elements. These were sometimes natural features incorporated into designs, but often they were human-created, engineered falls that brought water's beauty and sound into domestic settings. These garden waterfalls served multiple purposes. They cooled the air through evaporation. Their sound masked unwanted noise and created psychological separation from surrounding areas. They demonstrated wealth and technical skill, as maintaining flowing water required engineering and consistent water supply. They also provided contemplative focal points, places where observers could watch water's constant motion and reflect on philosophical or spiritual themes. Modern landscape design continues this tradition. Water features, including falls, remain popular in gardens worldwide. Whether small fountains trickling over rocks or larger installations, the goal is similar: bringing waterfall benefits into human spaces. While they can't replicate the scale of natural falls, they invoke similar responses. The sound soothes, the motion engages the eye, and the presence of flowing water creates atmosphere that enhances gardens immeasurably. Some waterfalls freeze and thaw multiple times each winter. In regions where temperatures fluctuate around freezing, waterfalls experience repeated freeze-thaw cycles. Water flows during warmer periods, freezes when temperatures drop, thaws again when warmth returns. This cycling creates complex ice formations, layers and structures that build and collapse throughout the winter. Each cycle adds detail, creating forms more intricate than single freeze waterfalls. The ice formations from repeated cycling can be spectacular. Layers of different textures and colors stack like geological strata. Hollow columns form where flowing water later freezes around already established ice. Fragile sheets hang free, supported by surprisingly delicate connections. Artists couldn't create such diversity intentionally. It emerges from natural processes operating according to temperature and flow variations. For ice climbers, repeated cycling creates challenges. The ice quality changes with each freeze-thaw, affecting how well it holds protection and how safely it can be climbed. Warm days can weaken formations that were solid days before. Climbers must constantly assess conditions, understanding that freeze-thaw cycles make the ice dynamic and potentially unstable. The waterfall's winter personality is complex, requiring respect and careful judgment from those who wish to interact with its frozen form. The world record for swimming over a waterfall is held by extreme athletes. While most people wisely avoid going over waterfalls, some extreme athletes have intentionally done so, either swimming or in kayaks. The records are controversial, as attempting such feats is extraordinarily dangerous. People have died making similar attempts. Nevertheless, the human desire to push limits has led some to survive intentional waterfall descents. The largest waterfall successfully kayaked was Alexandra Falls in Canada's Northwest Territories, a 109-foot drop. The paddler survived, though the forces involved caused temporary paralysis and required extensive recovery. Smaller falls have been run more regularly by whitewater experts, though anything over about 30 feet is considered extremely dangerous. The risks include impact trauma, drowning in the hydraulic at the base, and being pounded by the falling water. These records should be viewed as cautionary tales rather than inspiration. The athletes who set them are highly skilled professionals with years of experience and careful preparation. Even so, many regard these attempts as unnecessarily risky. The waterfall doesn't care about records or human ambition. It simply flows, and those who challenge it on its terms accept potentially fatal consequences. For the vast majority of people, appreciating waterfalls from safe distances is the wise choice. Waterfalls can transport surprisingly large rocks and even boulders. During floods, waterfalls become incredibly powerful rock-moving mechanisms. Water flowing over the edge carries sediment and rocks of increasing size as flow increases. Boulders weighing tons can be moved in extreme floods, hurled over falls, and smashed on the rocks below. The evidence accumulates as boulder fields at the base of falls, testimony to past high water events. The physics are straightforward but dramatic. Water's force increases with velocity and volume. Flood-stage rivers move fast and carry huge amounts of water. When this rushing water goes over a waterfall, it has tremendous momentum. Anything in the flow, including large rocks, is carried along and launched from the edge. The impact at the bottom breaks apart rocks that survived intact for centuries, accelerating erosion. These rock-moving events reshape the waterfall's base over time. The plunge pool deepens as rocks are removed. The sides of the gorge are undercut. The surrounding landscape is scoured clean of loose material. While these floods may occur only every decade or century, their effects are long-lasting. The waterfall and its immediate environment bear the marks of infrequent but powerful events, reminders that nature's strongest forces, though rare, are the ones that most shape landscapes. Meditation practices around the world incorporate waterfall sounds and imagery. The sound of falling water has been recognized as meditation aid across cultures. In Japan, monks meditate while sitting beneath cold waterfalls as spiritual practice. In other traditions, practitioners visualize waterfalls while meditating, using the image to represent cleansing, release, or continuous flow. Modern meditation often uses waterfall recordings as background, the sound helping to focus attention and quiet mental chatter. The reasons for waterfall sound's effectiveness in meditation are both physical and psychological. The acoustic properties create white noise that masks distractions. The repetitive nature prevents the sound from becoming a distraction itself. Psychologically, the associations with nature, cleanliness, and flow support meditative states. The sound suggests continuity and change simultaneously, a paradox that aligns with many meditation philosophies. Whether sitting beside actual falls or listening to recordings, incorporating waterfall sounds into practice is ancient wisdom confirmed by modern understanding. The benefits are real: easier focus, deeper relaxation, and sometimes breakthrough insights. The waterfall, already generous with beauty and negative ions and ecological services, offers one more gift: a sound that helps quiet the mind and deepen inner peace. The chemistry of waterfall spray can affect the taste of gross. Nearby agriculture. In wine regions with waterfalls, Some vintners claim the spray affects grape flavor through deposited minerals and increased humidity. Whether this is measurable or mainly marketing is debated, but it's plausible that waterfall mist carries dissolved minerals that settle on crops over seasons and years. These deposits could influence soil chemistry and plant growth. In Hawaii, taro patches placed in waterfall spray zones are said to produce particularly flavorful crops. The constant moisture is practical benefit, but farmers also claim something about the waterfall. Water itself improves taste, whether this is minerals, negative ions, or simply the vigorous growth that adequate water permits. The results satisfy farmers and consumers. Traditional knowledge of waterfall benefits in agriculture persists because it produces results, even if mechanisms aren't fully understood. Modern agricultural science tends to focus on measurable factors, minerals, pH, moisture, but traditional farmers recognize complexity that science may miss. The waterfall affects microclimate, soil biology, and perhaps subtle factors not yet quantified. Whether through measured chemistry or through complex interactions not yet understood, the waterfall's influence extends to human tables through crops that benefited from its proximity. Waterfalls create acoustic phenomena where sound reflects in complex patterns. The shape of gorges and amphitheaters around waterfalls affects how sound behaves. In some locations, sound waves reflect and interfere in ways that create acoustic sweet spots, places where the waterfall sounds particularly clear or powerful, and dead zones where it's surprisingly quiet. These patterns result from the specific geometry of surrounding rock walls and the sound frequencies the waterfall produces. Ancient peoples sometimes recognized these acoustic properties, considering certain listening spots as special or sacred. Modern understanding explains these effects through physics, but the experience remains powerful. Standing in a location where the waterfall's sound swells and surrounds you creates immersive experience, unlike hearing it from other angles. The rock itself becomes part of the instrument, shaping the waterfall's voice into something unique to that specific place. Acoustic engineers occasionally study waterfalls to understand natural sound propagation. The lessons apply to concert hall design, urban noise management, and other fields where sound behavior matters. The waterfall is unintentional acoustic engineer, creating effects through the interaction of flowing water and stone. What emerges is instruction in how sound works if we're willing to listen carefully and learn from what nature demonstrates so generously. Some waterfalls are considered among the world's best spots for observing rainbows. Certain waterfalls, due to their orientation relative to the sun, the amount of mist they produce, and surrounding geography, create exceptionally reliable rainbow displays. Victoria Falls, Iguazu Falls, and Yosemite Falls are famous for their rainbows. On sunny days, rainbows are practically guaranteed, sometimes multiple simultaneous arcs that persist for hours. These reliable rainbows make the falls especially photogenic and popular. Visitors plan trips to coincide with best viewing times, usually morning or afternoon, when sun angles are optimal. Tour operators know exactly where to position groups for best rainbow views. What was once a matter of luck becomes predictable, though still magical. Even when expected, rainbows in waterfall mist retain their power to delight. The reliability doesn't diminish wonder, it enhances it. Knowing you will see a rainbow doesn't make it less beautiful. If anything, the certainty allows you to appreciate details, precise color gradations, the way the arc moves as you move, the secondary rainbows with reversed colors. What's reliable can still inspire awe. The waterfall's rainbows prove that wonder doesn't require rarity. that something experienced by millions can still touch each observer with fresh magic. Waterfalls in limestone areas often create travertine formations. In regions where water flows through limestone, it becomes saturated with dissolved calcium carbonate. When this water goes over a waterfall and splashes into air, carbon dioxide escapes from the water, causing calcium carbonate to precipitate. Over time, this deposits build travertine formations, terraces, dams, and curtains of stone that grow as water continues to flow over them. Famous examples include Havasu Falls in Arizona and Plitvice Lakes in Croatia, where travertine creates naturally terraced waterfalls of extraordinary beauty. The formations are often white or cream-colored, contrasting beautifully with the blue or green water. The travertine grows slowly, perhaps inches or feet per century, but over millennia, it creates substantial features that alter the waterfall's appearance and behavior. These formations are fragile. Human activity that changes water chemistry or directs foot traffic over the travertine can damage formations that took centuries to grow. Conservation of travertine waterfalls requires protecting not just the falls, but the entire watershed that feeds them, ensuring water chemistry remains suitable for continued deposition. These falls demonstrate the ongoing interaction between water and rock, each shaping the other in slow dance that creates beauty over geological timescales. The experience of watching waterfalls can lower blood pressure and reduce stress. Medical research confirms what people have felt intuitively. Spending time near waterfalls has measurable health benefits. Studies show reductions in blood pressure, heart rate, and stress hormones among people who spend time in waterfall environments. The effects persist after leaving, suggesting that waterfall visits have lasting impact on well-being. Multiple factors contribute to these benefits. The negative ions may play a role. The sound certainly does, its white noise quality helping minds relax. The beauty engages attention without demanding effort, providing restorative focus. The physical environment, cool and fresh, feels healthful. And perhaps most important, the setting encourages being present, setting aside worries, and simply experiencing the moment. This health benefit is available to anyone who seeks it. No prescription needed, no medical procedure required. Simply go to a waterfall, spend time there, and allow it to work. The falls give freely to all who visit, asking nothing in return. In an age of expensive and complicated medical interventions, waterfalls offer healing that is ancient, natural, and accessible. They are therapy that predates therapists, medicine that requires no pharmacy, healing as simple as standing still and listening to water fall. Waterfalls in deserts are especially precious for wildlife and humans. In arid lands, waterfalls are rare miracles. When they exist, they become focal points for life. Animals congregate, knowing water is reliably present. Birds nest on cliff faces. Plants create lush pockets. For human desert cultures, these waterfalls are life-sustaining resources, places where settlements can exist in otherwise uninhabitable terrain. The contrast in desert settings makes waterfalls even more striking. The surrounding landscape is browns and tans, sparse vegetation, exposed rock. Then suddenly there's a waterfall, green with moisture, alive with birds and insects. The sound of flowing water, almost shocking after desert silence. The falls are oases, in the truest sense, islands of abundance in seas, of scarcity. Conservation of desert waterfalls is critical because alternatives are few. If the water stops flowing due to upstream use or climate change, the entire oasis collapses. Species dependent on the falls have nowhere else to go. Human communities lose irreplaceable resources. Desert waterfalls remind us that water is precious everywhere, but especially where it's scarce. The falling water in these settings isn't just beautiful, but literally life-sustaining for everything within reach of its moisture and flow. The angle and shape of a waterfall's lip affects how the water falls. Small differences in the precipice create large differences in the fall's appearance. A sharp edge causes water to leave cleanly, creating a visible gap between water and rock. A gradual slope keeps water in contact longer, creating a sliding rather than falling appearance. Irregularities in the lip create multiple streams or curtains with gaps between them. Over time, erosion changes the lip's shape, altering the waterfall's appearance and behavior. A once smooth edge becomes notched. A single stream divides into multiple channels. The waterfall today looks different than it did centuries ago, and different than it will look centuries hence. Every waterfall is work in progress, its form constantly evolving under water's patient sculpting. For photographers and artists, these details matter. The shape determines how light interacts with falling water, where rainbows appear, how mist disperses. For scientists, lip erosion rates provide data about rock hardness and water volumes. For casual observers, the variety is simply beautiful. Each waterfall unique in how its water leaves the edge and begins its fall. No two quite the same. Some waterfalls have been sites of significant historical events. History sometimes unfolds in dramatic locations, and waterfalls provide naturally memorable settings. Treaties have been signed beside falls, battles fought near them, important discoveries made at them. These events become part of waterfall lore, adding human history to natural history, creating places where geology and human story intertwine. In North America, many waterfalls were important to fur traders and explorers, serving as landmarks and portage points. In other regions, waterfalls marked boundaries between territories or served as meeting places for diplomatic purposes. Some religious traditions use specific waterfalls for baptisms or other ceremonies, adding spiritual significance to geological features. These accumulated histories enrich our experience of waterfalls, adding layers of meaning beyond the physical. Knowing a waterfall's history doesn't diminish its natural significance, but adds to it. The falls witnessed these events, flowed before them and after them. Indifferent but present, they provide continuity connecting past to present. Standing where historically significant events occurred adds dimension to visits. You're not just seeing a waterfall, but standing in a place where humans made history, with the same water falling that fell then, linking you to those earlier moments through shared experience of place. The shape of falling water changes based on flow rate and obstacles. Water falling in high volumes creates solid-looking curtains. Low flow produces separated streams or drops. Obstacles in the path, rocks or ledges, split flows or create braided patterns. Wind affects falling water, sometimes blowing it sideways or creating spiral patterns. The waterfall is never static, but constantly changing its form in response to conditions. Watching these changes over hours or seasons reveals the waterfall's dynamic nature. The morning's gentle stream becomes afternoon's powerful surge if afternoon rains have swollen the river. Summer's trickle becomes spring's thundering cataract. The waterfall has many moods and faces, each valid and each beautiful in its own way. Getting to know a waterfall over time means appreciating this variability, understanding that what you see today is only one of infinite possibilities. This changeability is part of the appeal. A waterfall you've visited before always offers something new. Different flow, different light, different weather, different season, all create different experiences. The waterfall is both familiar and novel, comfortable and surprising. This combination makes people return repeatedly, seeking both the comfort, known, and the excitement of discovering how it's changed since last visit. Waterfalls provide habitat for specialized species that live nowhere else. Some creatures have adapted so specifically to waterfall environments that they cannot survive elsewhere. Certain mosses grow only in waterfall spray zones. Salamanders use the constantly wet rocks for breeding. Birds nest on cliffs behind falls where predators cannot easily reach. These species are waterfall specialists, their entire existence tied to these specific conditions. The specialization makes them vulnerable. If the waterfall dries up or is dammed, these species lose their only habitat. Conservation biologists worry about waterfall-dependent species because their limited range makes them susceptible to extinction. A single dam project can eliminate species found nowhere else on Earth. The waterfall supports not just spectacular scenery but irreplaceable biodiversity. Discovering these specialized species adds another dimension to waterfall appreciation. The falls aren't just beautiful rock and water, but living ecosystems. The salamander clinging to spray-soaked stone, the moss thriving where nothing else could grow, the bird nesting behind the curtain of water, or a part of what makes waterfalls special. They're communities, not just features, alive in ways that invite protection and respect. And so, dear listener, our journey through the world of waterfalls comes to a close. From the highest, cascades that plunge nearly a kilometre through open air, to the smallest trickles over moss-covered stones, from thundering cataracts that shake the ground, to gentle veils of water that whisper their way down cliffsides. We have wandered together through mist and rainbows, through ice and heat, through ancient times and modern moments. We have glimpsed the power of waterfalls to shape landscapes over millennia, to support life in countless forms, to inspire art and spirituality across all cultures. We have felt their cooling spray, heard their soothing sounds, and stood in awe before their beauty. The waterfall reminds us that nature's processes are both simple and profound. Water falling under gravity creates spectacles that have moved human hearts since the first humans walked the earth. Every waterfall is a teacher if we're willing to learn. They demonstrate patience in how, slowly, they erode stone. They show power in how they reshape landscapes. They embody persistence in their ceaseless flow. They give generously, asking nothing, providing beauty, sound, moisture, habitat, and peace to all who approach. They are nature's gifts, freely offered, endlessly renewable, patient companions to humanity through all our ages. As you lie here now, letting your breath slow into sleep's gentle rhythm, imagine yourself beside a waterfall. Picture cool mist on your skin, the sound filling your ears until there's no room for worry or thought. See the water falling, endlessly falling, each drop joining countless others in this ancient dance. Feel the peace that waterfalls bring, that sense of being part of something larger, older, and more permanent than our brief concerns. The waterfall flows, whether you watch or not, whether you sleep or wake. It will be there tomorrow, next year, decades from now. It has flowed through countless nights like this one, and it will flow through countless more. In its presence, your worries are temporary as morning mist. Let them dissolve in the spray. Let the sound carry them away. Let the waterfall's peace become your peace. All of creation moves in cycles. Water to cloud, to rain, to river, to waterfall, to sea, to cloud again. You too are part of these cycles, made mostly of water, breathing air that has circled the globe, containing atoms that were once in ancient seas and might one day be in waterfalls. You belong to this world of water and stone. Let that belonging soothe you into rest. The waterfall asks nothing of you now, except to release your grip on waking. Let the sound fill the spaces where thoughts live. Let the rhythm of falling water become the rhythm of your breath. Sink into sleep as water sinks into stone. Inevitable, natural, right. The waterfall will still be falling when you wake. All is well. You can rest now. Close your eyes if they're not already closed. Feel your body heavy and relaxed. Breathe with the rhythm of flowing water. And drift now. Drift gently, easily, naturally, into sleep, into rest, into the same peace that waterfalls have offered to tired souls since time began. Good night, and may your dreams be as peaceful as water falling over stone in an endless, gentle flow.